Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. This is the part 2 of the Cascadian Rye, basically the double IPA I made. This is part 2, where we're going to transfer it from here to the keg. Don't forget, go ahead, like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. We've got a few issues and they're not major, but I thought it through and really thought it through. Okay, first of all, we'll open this bad boy up so you can see it. And without pulling that off. Okay, so we've got a lot of hot matter in here. I will tell you a little trick I just learned about the all-rounder. I didn't have this problem with the other one, the previous beer I had in all-rounder, but I had so much stuff sitting up on the top. And I was like, this is crazy. And when I moved it, that's it, I moved it. I shook it a little and banged it down. Didn't shake it intentionally, I just got jostled. Most of that just fell to the bottom. And someone did recommend if I cold crash this, it would be a little firmer on the yeast cake at the bottom, but I don't have anything to cold crash something this big. Not yet. But so the other thing is we're sitting at about 8.4% ABV. I couldn't get a final gravity. And I mentioned this in the top 10 if you saw it. I've never really thought about final gravity under pressure, and this thing's pushing close to 15 psi, which I'm okay with. I know everybody likes to keep it around 10, and I kept bringing it down, and I'd ease it. I was afraid of letting it leak too much. Still kind of learning this bad boy. But you're not going to get a good gravity reading with a tilt in something that's under pressure with carbonation. It's like my final gravity fell way down here, and then it just started going back up, and I'm like, whoa, what's wrong? I got it down to 1.010 and 1.012 there for a little while before I took a little sample and figured it out. But like I said, we're sitting at 8.4%. Now here's the problem. I have 2 of the Keglin spundet valves. This one actually I replaced the gauge so I can go all the way to 60 psi. And then I have my spundet 2.0, which I like a lot too. And what I was going to do at first was do what I always do, move the beer from here to here. I don't know how many of you see the problem with that. This is at 15 psi. Once this plugs in, it'll be technically at 0 psi. Because this is carbonated and it's sitting at around 15 psi at approximately 72 Fahrenheit, it's gonna foam up massively. It's just gonna foam. It'll be a massive foam problem, and it's gonna take me forever to move things. So then I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. I can use the spundet and I can set it and let it bubble. And then I started thinking, well, wait a minute though. Once the liquid comes through, it's just gonna pump through if I have more than 5 gallons, which I don't think I do. I think I'm right at close to 5 gallons. Maybe a hair or less, maybe, hopefully not a hair more, maybe a hair less. I'm hoping the hops absorb quite a bit. But that's not gonna work either. So I came up with a better solution. And this is kind of a cool solution to me. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it's pretty cool. And if you get one of the black ones instead of the old silver, you'll notice there's a difference. You can kind of see it. There's one more notch up here. So what you do is you take that notch, and I have 2 of these sitting around, and you do like that, and it helps to pull that little plastic piece, which you can kind of do with your fingers sometimes. It's a little harder for me to do it and show it to you. There it goes. Okay, so here's my trick. I'm going to crank this bad boy down so it's at nothing. It's 60 psi technically, and then I'll just start lowering it down. See where I'm going? There it goes. Ta-da! Hopefully the weight's not too much and makes it leak. But what I'm going to do with that, and then I can twist it so I can watch the gauge. Kind of nifty. I can go over here, put it on here. That says 15. I'm okay with that, because we're sitting over here at 15. I turn this around, I'm sorry, but I need to see it a little. There, I just want to make sure I'm sitting close to 15 here. This is one thing cool about between the all-rounder and the keg, is that they're almost the same height, which makes life really easy. And I purged the CO2 on this, so I didn't have any O2 sitting in it, which somebody pointed out, which is kind of a cool thing. It's not very much air, but it's enough. Okay, put this and whoa. Not sure. There we go. And the liquid's flowing. What I'm doing, very simple, is I have a little more pressure over here and a little less pressure. When I first plugged it in, it appears I had more pressure over here, so it was pushing this way. I see some bubbles. I'm not worried. So it was all CO2 anyways. So now, since the pressure over here is, let's see if I can get it, is greater than the pressure over here. There we go. Pressure over here greater than pressure over here. It's going to push the liquid and push the CO2 out. And if it starts to normalize, I can just relieve it until we balance it out. And that's it. I'm gonna let it go a little faster and we're gonna move on. And once we get it in the keg, we're gonna throw it in there, chill it down, rock and roll, and have some really good double IPA with a crap load of hops. Because if you remember right, we used a pound of Cascade and I threw another 4 ounces of Cascade in the dry hop. So it's 20 ounces. That's a lot of Cascade, but I had over 2 pounds and I have a lot of hops and I need to get rid of some of it. So, and I like Cascade. It's a good hop. Probably not my first pick, but it's still a good hop. I like it a lot in black IPAs. I don't know why, but a black IPA with that chocolate and all that bitter, Cascade kind of balances things out a little. Okay, I already hear it lowering. I need a magnifying glass. Forget these glasses, man. I need something brighter. I can't see. Because I've never done this, not this way, is that if I get down to a certain point, well, let's think about it. No, I did. I transferred the other one. Well, I opened it up and it wasn't that carbonated. It's just a little bit of pressure, so it's fine. This is under a lot of pressure. That's my problem. Starting to think and remember things. I may have to put more CO2 up against this. I don't know. Never done it. Got to do it first time. There's always a first time. People keep asking me to do a review on this thing, and I want to know more. I need to know a lot more. I want to feel good about everything I say and everything I know and everything I've tested to that point. I mean, there's always something to learn about something, but you know, I just learned something new about kegs tonight, and I'll share that eventually. Something, it's so obvious you would never notice it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, we're gonna call this good because this is gonna take a long time with the way I'm doing it. I'd rather be patient than rush it, trust me on this one. Like I said, we'll throw it in here. I do have a tablespoon of gelatin in here, it should clarify it. It should be carbonated once it's chilled. Gonna give it a few days to set and we'll rock on. Okay, I know you just saw us move the beer from here to the keg to here, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's been almost a week. Not even, the beer was ready to go literally the next morning because it was cold, it was carbonated, it was incredibly cloudy for the first day. The next day it went down a little hazy. And then the last day, or well, third and fourth day, it's actually been really, really clear. I'm not gonna say crystal clear yet, but really there. I'm calling it the Cascadian Rye double IPA. It's sitting at about 8.7%, but let's do a taste test. Yeah, I've already had a few sips, but it is definitely a double IPA. And I'm doing it in my lovely little muffin top glass from Brewing America. I love these glasses, they're awesome. But as you can see, I mean, I can't tell if it's, I see almost no haze. It might have a hint of haze in there, but every day it's getting clearer and clearer, which I'm quite impressed. As you may or may not remember, we had 4 ounces of hops at 15, 4 at 10, 4 at 5, and then we did a 10-minute whirlpool with 4 ounces of hops for 10 minutes, and then I dropped another 4 ounces into the dry hop. So we had 20 ounces of nothing but Cascade hops. The aroma is very mild, it's nice, it's pleasant. I want to say it's a little more floral with a hint of citrus, but definitely a little more on a slightly fruity floral. I don't know how you express that, but it doesn't smell like sniffing flowers. It's just nice. And a lot of people have a hint of spice in Cascade. I can see where they get that from, but it is so subtle. I don't consider Cascade a spicy hop in any way. I definitely get some grapefruit, Not like you get it in Chinook. I love Chinook. Chinook's got a ton of grapefruit. I get a little bit of grapefruit. I get a little bit of citrus in there. Definitely get a little hint of floral. And then I get that nice bitter finish, which I was looking for. I wanted a nice double IPA with, hey, give me a little smack in the side of the head and yeah, we're bitter. And the rye, I could have gone heavier with the rye, and I really want to go 2.5 pounds. I did 2 pounds, 3.5 ounces. It stands in there. I can taste it. It's nice and smooth, and it helps. The Cara aroma, if I remember right, was something that for some reason was just kind of chomping at me. Gave it that nice, beautiful reddish hue, and that's what it is. I'm getting the malts, and I'm smelling the malts mixed in with that little bit of hint of floral and citrus. So it's a little bit of everything, a little too much going on, I guess, but it's mild, but in a good way, not in a bad way. I told my son I definitely would brew it again, but I would kind of mix the hops up, maybe do a little Simcoe, Mosaic, and I don't know, either Chinook, maybe Citra, or Columbus. I got plenty of Columbus. We could do that. Thank you again for joining us here at Bitter Reality Brewing. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and keep sharing. Definitely appreciate it. You notice we got a blushing ginger saison. We got that video coming too. Thank you.